All right. Okay. How's everybody doing today? What's up? I'm trying to start this like a little bit quicker, because I'm gonna have Rosie on here, in a minute. I'm gonna have Rosie on here in a minute, and everything like that. Hold on. How's everybody doing today? Everybody doing good? Like this shit up, guys. Everybody kind of get trolled. If you went to that Elvis thing, you get trolled, huh? For sure, for sure. You guys get trolled. All right, so I sent a link to Rosie. She can come on in like 5 minutes if she wants to. Like, I don't know if she's already isn't here or what, but she's gonna be here really soon. If you guys don't know, if you want to help out the channel, like this shit up, and if you want to join, there's a join button right here. And if you join, it brings you this little area right here. You can join for $2 a month, $8 a month, $15 a month. You get these little crowns next to your name, and you get these little emojis you can use in the chat. We even have an Elvis emoji. If you didn't know, we have an Elvis Travels emoji. If you didn't know, so yeah, that's a thing. Just so you know. Or if you guys just want to donate, link in the description. Feel free. Have a blast. Anyways, all right. So, I almost thought Elvis was coming back for a minute, but he'd be kind of dumb to think that he can't just that he won't just get banned. He's just gonna get banned again if he comes back. Just gonna get banned. No, you're not blocked, Kaylin. You're good. Yeah. If he comes back, he's just gonna get blocked. You know, from YouTube. YouTube will fuck him up for sure. Like once you're on like YouTube's radar and you get blocked and banned over and over again, that's kind of what happens. But how's everybody doing tonight? What's up? Like quick recap on this, if you guys don't know. This is Rosie O'Kelly. I'm trying to go to her page. Hold on. Why is it slow? All right. Yeah, this is Rosie O'Kelly. She's been on the stream before. Good people. You know, and she said once, like, if once this starts to pan out, she'll come on and talk about it, which I guess it is. And, yeah, there's been a bunch of drama between, you know, Rosie and, well, not really on Rosie's side, more on Elvis's side. Like, Elvis has really been the one, like, poking at all this bullshit, you know? But he just keeps going, man. He keeps going. If you guys just missed this, like, you know, he trolled, man. I don't know who made this. Who made this shit? Who really made this? Like, who made this shit? Like, this fake Elvis Travels channel. Everybody got trolled into thinking he was actually coming back. What's up, Murray? This is so funny. Like, and then using this fake-ass video.
What's going on, guys? It's your Syrian King from an undisclosed location. I look forward to seeing you guys tonight on my new YouTube channel for the latest updates of my life and travel. So make sure you tune in tonight. I will be live after posting this video. I will be live on the channel tonight to update you guys on my life and travel. So look forward to seeing you there. And please make sure to support your king tonight. He's going to need your support. Been through a lot recently. Make sure you support your king. PayPal.
Look at that fucking belt buckle. It's huge. It's huge. It's a big belt buckle. Then they were like acting like they were him in the chat. Quick history though. I want to go over this when Rose gets here. But she told me about the claim, right? Like how he was claiming this video of hers. And like using this fucking this fake ass channel, like it's a bunch of like it's a bunch of random numbers and letters put together. Like I guess he's got a bunch of channels, and that's what he was doing. That's why he ultimately got banned by like striking a shitload of different videos and just thinking he was gonna get away with it. Like here's another one of his fucking channels, you know? Like this dude, like once like YouTube is like, hey, stop fucking striking videos or we're gonna ban you. You should probably, I don't know, you might want to listen to that. I don't know, maybe that's just me. Anyways, so yeah, Elvis Travels, you look for him now and there's just other people's videos about him now, and that's it, man, that's it. But hold on, I want to see what Rosie has to say. Rosie, Rosie can come on now. Like I just want to hear what she has to say about this whole thing, you know? I really want to know what else is going on, and I really want to listen about some other stuff as well that happened between them. And I don't know. Hey, is the chat working? Because I feel like it was fucking up the other day. All right, good. Yeah, he's pissed off a lot of people, like with his like. Hold on. Is this the picture I'm thinking of?
Hey, is the chat working? Because I feel like it was fucking up.
Okay.
The other day.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he's pissed off a lot of people.
Okay,
like, with
there
his,
you are.
with
Rosie, what's up?
Hello.
Hello.
Oh, all right. There you are. All right.
Yeah, let me turn down the YouTube side here.
How you doing tonight? How you doing?
Good. I just want to make sure I'm not echoing.
No, you're good now.
Okay.
So
How you doing, CJ?
I'm great. I'm great. I'm glad you're here. Thank you so much for coming on. I know, like you and Elvis were friendly at one point, so this must be really frustrating for you now. You know, like where everything is gone. You know, like how long did you know him for personally?
I guess we first met each other on the RB Hangouts back in March, April of 2015.
Okay, so for a little while now, so you guys have known each other, and I don't know, from like what I caught on, like I started like about a year back, so I kind of caught the tail end of your friendship, I guess. And then I saw him, like I know you were helping him fix the RV and everything, and then I saw him just constantly shit talk you. Like what ended it? Because I heard it was just him like being mad like about text to speech. Was that it?
Yeah, I think our history goes way back. I've always enjoyed colorful people on YouTube, and I've always gravitated to people that are colorful. I think I'm a colorful person, and that's what forms the void, brings people together that are oddly different and differently odd, and I always think it's a good combination.
Yeah, he's definitely
but
different.
I met him on panels. I met him on panels for the RV community in 2015, and I went out to Chicago. I worked on his van in November of 2015, helping him with the water tank and some leaks, and we got along pretty good. We had trips to Las Vegas, birthday dinners. As you know, CJ, last summer we traveled all around the Midwest with the Great Lakes Van Tour in Niagara Falls and Toronto. We went up to see Norm F. and to say hi to him in Canada. Yeah. And we had a pretty good time. Went down to Mexico. Was with him to get his teeth fixed down in Mexico. So it was we had good times. But so as far as what happens is, I mean, when I weigh out the things I've done for him over the years, not just monetarily but friendship wise, and then if somebody's going to tell you that because they're upset because some trolls do some text to speech. I mean, we know text to speech, CJ. I mean, what the hell, man? I mean, is my skin too thick? Am I? And
it's his too thin. That's what it is. That's what I think.
Well, I think the reality is that he's always, and this was hard for me to suck down. Was that I think he was always jealous of, the views I had, the subscriber base I had, and you could tell that because he would always talk about how many people are watching a live stream, or tell me how many people I have, and I never talk about that stuff when I'm live. Who in the hell cares, Yeah. So I could always tell that this was in the back of his mind. And as soon as he left the rancho, I think he fixed it in his mind that he needed to have an explosive re-entry as a solo act into YouTube. So he chose to, as he's done with other people, Tasha Teeling with Coates 9500, he's done the same thing, discarded and thrown away people as soon as they've outlived their usefulness. And I spent 5 months with him here on the rancho, running up my electric bill, pulling my sink off the wall in the shine shack. And
see, that was another thing. Like you were a good friend of him. I saw many times people in the chat would be like, get him off the stream, like literally just going in on him nonstop. And like, people would donate and everything like that, but you still had him there. You were still by his side and everything like that, and you weren't like shitting on him like people wanted. No,
I was also telling people on the daily and my moderators, let's be nice, let's keep it positive in here. And for the most part, they did. Plus, I had Mr. X, who's a good friend of his in Chicago. Mr. X, he's known me and Elvis for a lot of years, and I gave him a wrench in my chat. So if you saw something you didn't like, Mr. X, then it was on you. If you let it go, then it's on you. So what more could I do? At that particular time, I'm focused on what the van is. I don't care what people were saying on text to speech. He acts like they're giving it that. Most people gave $2 for a text to speech. You might get 10 a day or something.
Yeah, I think
excuse me, big deal. big deal.
I think he just looked at it this way, like you were just letting the trolls say whatever, like, and just say text to speech. But that's what it's for. That's why I have it. That's why you have it. It's people pay so they can say that shit. You know, it's
I mean, I've been in Dollar Trees where people have, and I have my Bluetooth on with my big speaker, and people are dropping the N-word in text to speech and stuff. Everybody comes to a complete stop in the store, and they're looking at you and everything in there. I mean, it goes with the territory of YouTube, and there wasn't really even that much trolling. People got used to the flow of the van build and the work, and I thought that they were remarkably reserved during that period. I mean, let's face it, CJ, they could have had cops sweeping into the place. We had somebody called the Santa Rosa Fire Department on us, but we only had a few stream snipes and things, and people would send like a case of butter beans to the rancho and, stupid, just harmless stuff to do.
Now, like, so did he leave on good terms with you, or was it like literally he gets pissed and left?
No, I thought we left on good terms. I suspected he wanted to stay until it warmed up here, and that he could be on the road and didn't have to worry about the rain and the cold. And he had a very comfortable deal staying out in the Shine Shack there. He had heat. He had a private bathroom. He had a refrigerator. He could cook things in there. He had a bed in there. And I wanted to go down to Vegas. I'd worked my ass off for 5 months. I had infected fingers and things. There was all kinds of human bodily fluids that were in rugs and things that I pulled out of it was a death trap. It was like a plague on wheels. I mean, literally, you were just kind of risking your life, when you were working it. But I thought we left on pretty good terms. And then he went on a live stream and he told people that it was like being in prison to be on the rancho, and it was good to be free. And I'm like, what the hell, dude?
Good to be free. You were helping him out. I don't understand. Like, what did you do wrong? I don't get it.
Yeah, because of that little incident outweighed a 5-year friendship. I wasn't really a friend. I think, like a lot of people, I was used along the way for what I could provide for him, and then for great content to relaunch his channel. He had to be controversial, and for the next 6 months, he ran me into the ground on YouTube, and I fired back a few times, but not that often. I generally ignored it. But if he found out if you talk about me, then your views are high. If you're bashing me, you'll have a lot of people in a chat.
Yeah. I'm just like, I don't know. I'm kind of in awe that he did, what he did, honestly, because, like, whatever, financial stuff aside, I mean, like, you put a lot of time and effort into the friendship, so it's kind of,
yeah.
I don't know. It's kind of crazy.
I never in a million years dreamed it would end like it did. And then I kind of went on my way, and I could sense he couldn't let go about. By August and September, his channel came to a complete standstill.
Yeah.
This year, and the subs came to a complete standstill. The view count was collapsing. What was actually happening, CJ, is he was being shadow banned by YouTube.
Yep.
They had so many complaints that people don't understand this concept of shadow banning, where YouTube's not going to issue strikes or things like that, but they choose not to put your channel.
Yeah, they choose not to promote you.
Exactly.
I see it happening to a lot of people right now, because a lot of people mentioned COVID when it was first, like a secret thing to not talk about or whatever. Who knows if that's the reason why, or if it's just him being controversial. But
right.
What did you think when you saw that stream with him, like, showing up with that kid? What were your thoughts about that? I got to ask you about that.
Well, I need to be very careful, because I hate to say it, he would love nothing better than to sue me or for slander or something like that. So I will just say this, CJ, if it had been you and I, and we're in a van gone down the street and we're meeting a Facebook friend for the first time, I'm assuming a couple things. Number one, you know what the person looks like from Facebook.
Yeah.
Which makes you think, why would you meet this guy anyway? And number two, once you see them on the side of the road and you're approaching with your van, your car, your truck, or whatever, once the optics of the situation become clearer, man, I'm hitting the gas pedal like, sorry, I'm putting the window down. Hey, man, something came up. Sorry, emergency. I got to get out of here. There's no way that I would, in this day and age, to be on that type of, to be in that type of situation. But I can't make any claims about the age or.
Yeah,
or
I mean, whatever. This is all.
I do things.
You know,
I do things with proof like you do. If I have definitive proof, then
exactly. I mean, all this is all alleged anyways because it's online and there's no real case. Not that I'm aware of. You know.
But I do not believe that's what led to the
banning,
termination of the channel. I do not believe that was it.
No, can I ask you though? Like, and still on that same topic, why didn't he like for me? I just think it's odd that people in the chat were like, "Hey, ID him," and he wouldn't do it. That's for me, that was really sketchy.
You know why? My best guess was he would be afraid to see the result on that live stream, and would panic and know that the situation was bad. That's my best guess of why that was declined to check an ID, because he worried that he might see something that was an age that shouldn't be in the ban. I'll just leave it at that.
Yeah, we can leave it at that. So
yeah.
So some people try to like, I've seen this in the chat too. Some people try to act like it's your fault that you didn't know who he was, or because you like, I don't know. Like, I just got to say, like, I think it's really shitty that people are trying to blame you about that and act like you introduced him to some people and like people didn't know he was like this or an asshole or whatever. You know, like you're just a nice person. Like me speaking, like me knowing you personally, like from what I can say from that is you're just really nice. You know, you're not a bad person in the slightest. So, I don't know.
Well, CJ, if people aren't going to like you, to a person with a hammer, everything's going to look like a nail. Everything that you do is going to be a point where they can use that to strike at you. I can say at every point along the way, I led with my heart and the best intentions to do the very best that I could to do something that would maybe the time we spent together would have him see life in a different light, and maybe rejig his priorities and maybe get himself together, that you don't always have to take the low road to generate views. Well, it didn't work out. And that's the way it ended up. So I guess I should have learned my lesson, but we never really had a falling out. I think there was one period for about 6 months, maybe in 2016, where I didn't talk to him because I didn't like he was involved with all this bashing women and all this crazy MGTOW stuff. And I did not like that.
Yeah, what's that about?
Well, they call it men going their own way, which is kind of ridiculous when you think about it. I call it men grabbing their own wieners is my, what I make of that. But it's men's independence, that they're not going to be, quote, tied down to a woman, unquote. And I'm thinking to myself, you think these women are falling all over themselves?
That's what I was just thinking. Like, what woman does need to be tied? Like, what woman? There's no woman to not be tied down to. Like, what?
I mean, I'm just saying, most women are going to bolt the other way. I mean, are you really think that you're capable? Can you really entertain that thought in your head, that you're going to have to support a woman and kids when you're in a van living and e-begging for your existence every day? I mean, I just find that so comical. It's beyond the belief. But he had that stuck in his head by a guy down in Florida there. I think it had a bad experience in his life with his marriage, and it very much embittered him and made him become like an apostle for this MGTOW philosophy. And the MGTOW for Elvis migrated into misogyny and just a general dislike of women, and this the women were just there to use men, and they had nothing to offer except a baby, and they would want to tie you down. And I adopt more of the Mao Zedong philosophy that women hold up half the sky.
Yeah.
So it's we have a lot of equality.
Like, so, all right, so someone just said that's why he gets
Hi,
hookers.
Jill.
Oh,
I'm just saying hi to some people. And hi, Jill. Hi, everybody.
that's cool. Someone just said that's why he gets hookers. Elbow has to pay. Like, that's what I mean. He's not like, there's no woman tied down to him. You know what I mean? Like, it's very, very strange.
Well, you're contributing to the degradation of women. You're also short selling your own. How would I say that? You're also short selling yourself. That you're basically saying, I have nothing to offer a woman. I just want her body, so I'm just going to have to fork the money over because I don't have the skill set, the finesse, or the self feeling of self-worth to go out there and just test my mettle and maybe try to meet a nice woman. So I'm just going to jump to the conclusion, and I'm going to hit it and quit it. I did a video. It was called Night in Tijuana. It has become a very big video on the channel, and it shows it's a cinematic feature, and as I'm walking down the street, like 4 blocks, it's just continuous hooker after hooker after hooker. And it was very gutsy to shoot this because a cop could knock you over the head at any time. But it got, I put it to Jar of Hearts song, and people got the idea about the degradation and what women have to do to survive and all that in Mexico. So what you don't like about women, you're contributing to the problem of that,
Yeah, what's funny is, like, he seems to bring up Tijuana a lot. Now, like, he seems to act like he likes going down there, and, like, I don't know, that kind of bothers me a little bit. Like, you know what I mean?
It's the same thing with it turned me off. I had some friends years ago I met in San Diego. They were disabled Navy or something, and they would come onto my streams and they would talk about how they'd like to go to the Philippines. One was a male to female, and the other one was a female to male trans. And they would talk about how their trips to the Philippines and Thailand for sex visits and things. And it was like I had to boot them off of the chat. It was so that. If you have good character, you're not going to abuse. I saw the same thing when I worked in Hong Kong and China for 5 years. When the Filipino maids would work for people in Hong Kong, tens of thousands of Filipina young women, many of them would be abused and degraded and left pregnant, and quite a few of them would toss themselves off of apartment buildings and condos. It was terrible.
Now, did you see it the other day when he was on Ted Barris's? I think he was trying to compare dick sizes with him and saying, like, you should take Viagra and, like, whip out your dick and shit. Like, did you end up seeing that or no? He's
I don't know, man. I was there on Black's Beach, the nude beach, with him. Okay, I was down there in San Diego. Okay, and he's like, I'm gonna take Viagra, and I'm just thinking, okay, man, you're 38 or whatever you need, whatever the hell you need to do, So it was all weird, but I'm one to keep my mouth shut. See, I'm not a.
No, I know.
I'm not a tattler. I'm not one to come on and spill tea and all that kind of stuff. I keep my mouth shut.
Yeah, just from what I saw, though, I was just like, he's literally, because I thought it was like a pissing contest at first between him and Ted, and then it literally got to like, hey, we should measure dick sizes, and I was just like, Jesus Christ, like, this is really going there.
I didn't see anything noteworthy in the size department, to tell you the truth, but that might have been because it was so concealed in the bush, and I'm trying to be as diplomatic and PG worthy as I can when I say that, but I'm not sitting there mesmerized by that. You know what I'm saying? For me, it's the experience, because I've never been to a beach like that before. So I kind of put all that stuff, out of my mind to just focus on the experience of being on a nude beach. So
just going down and traveling, in general where you've been, it's pretty amazing. But
yeah,
so there must have
we
been,
went to Canada, Mexico, all over Milwaukee and Detroit, the worst neighborhood, Chicago, had all kinds of Niagara Falls, all kinds of experiences and things. It was a good time.
Can I ask you about Elvis's his van? Like, right? Did you help like, did you rebuild any like in the front, or was this all just remodeling from the back? Like, is that what you guys did?
Well, I told him coming in, I'm not going to I'm at my age, I don't want to be laying on the ground and working under vehicles anymore. I did that when I was 15 through 50 years old, right? I don't want to do that shit anymore, right? And I told him I'm not going to work on suspension. I'm not going to work on any engine things. I'm perfectly capable of doing it. But I did agree to help add an additional battery in the front so that there would be an extra battery to power the 12 volt.
So that was so that was there when you left.
Oh yeah. We put, the only thing I did to the outside was fix some of the leaks and put LEDs and things around for a little bit of bling on the front and things like that. But otherwise, my work was gutting the inside and then totally doing a total rebuild on the inside panels, electrical, plumbing, woodworking, cabinetry, gas, everything, lighting, the works in there. So.
Okay, so you did see the stream of him on the side of the highway begging for battery money, though, right?
Yeah, and did you see me break down a week later on the way to Las Vegas at the 15-mile marker when my tire went flat and these things don't have a spare?
Okay.
Right? It was funny. It's funny the juxtaposition. We had the same thumbnail, his rig on the back of the flatbed carrier. A week later, my rig on the back of a flatbed carrier being driven into Vegas. The difference is I had roadside insurance, and the other difference is I could reach into my own pocket and take out $115 and pay for my own damn tire. So
do you think it was just him trying to bait donations on?
It's hard for me to say. It's hard. Well, how do you differentiate that from every other day where you're asking for donations? You know what I'm saying?
True.
Yeah, I mean,
true.
True. I mean, unless he takes a day off once in a while for asking for money, it's every day is like Groundhog Day. Every damn day.
Man, his streams, man, they get so repetitive. It's just like donate money. Hey, did you donate money? Hey, by the way. It's just like, Jesus, like, you got to create some content, man. You got to create some content out here. What are you doing? Like, I don't know what he thinks. But all right, let's talk about the like him getting, like, trying to strike your channel and everything like that, because that's how I think this all started, right? Like you.
Yeah, and I firmly believe if the potential of some child that was potentially underage was the thing that led to an immediate termination, then the revival of a secondary channel would have been almost an instantaneous takedown. But as it is, it took almost 3 weeks to a month to accomplish that. So that tells me it wasn't a slam dunk issue. So I really believe what he did in the way of copyright was the thing that led to his demise. And if you permit me to, I'll give you a little bit of background on some things, if that's okay with you, just so people have context out there. First thing I want to say is you can't terminate anybody else on YouTube, okay?
Yeah.
If a person gets terminated on YouTube, they themselves did it to themselves, either by bullying, harassment, child endangerment, and the last big one is copyright violation. So no matter what people might have done, and I think there were people that tried to get him terminated for years on YouTube, and he had lost an earlier channel, but it's self-inflicted, right? You do it to yourself. You're the cause of it's like no matter how many times people flag you and they don't see anything to give a strike or take down, then it doesn't matter how many people flag something. It's irrelevant. There has to be something there to act on.
Yeah.
So I just want to.
Yeah. Sorry.
I just want to. I just want to say. Okay.
No. Go ahead. Sorry. I don't want.
No, I just want to say. So I don't take credit for any. Maybe the second one for sure, but perhaps not the first one, so
yeah.
You're a monetized creator.
Yeah.
Right, CJ?
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you look at your studio, your creator studio, you see a new tab on the side that's called copyright.
Yeah.
Okay. And if you click on that tab, you will see videos that YouTube's AI, their artificial intelligence, believes these videos may be using content that is your content and could be profiting from that.
Yeah.
But they also tell you, be sure and review if you're going to act on this, because we can't be sure. It's just like a beta program. We don't know. You know, you should look at all these copyright things before you act on them.
Yeah.
Because you put yourself at risk too if you knowingly strike somebody that it's not your content and things. So this was the weapon of destruction in his own hands, because he thought, number one, it would be very, very splashy to have a big takedown on YouTube, wouldn't it, CJ? To like the Void, you just took out some of the big players in the Void, like like Sig, who does Void parodies, and some of the other people, Anthony Norbecker, all the big parody makers. You could cut their legs right out from under them. You know, Dave the Fisherman had multiple channels that were terminated by this action. And he even came on one night and did a live stream after that saying the royal scepter has struck, you know, that he was proud that he was issuing all these strikes. So he really, really did it to himself.
So what I've heard of this before, so YouTube definitely reached out to him and was like, hey, either you take some of this shit back or we're going to review it and we're going to decide either we're going to get rid of those videos or your channel, literally. Like, literally, yeah, that's what they say. That's what they say. So what he did was like, nah, fuck it. I'm pushing it all in. Let's do it.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah.
And they were like, get the fuck out of here. You know?
He pushed all in. And therein was a very big mistake, because not just pushing in for the sake of pushing in, but then he did something that was, even YouTube, when I communicated with them in person with them on email, I could have done live chat with them, but I did it on emails because I didn't know I had the higher option at that time. And they were like, wow, I can't, you know, we're kind of surprised that this person would do this. So I can talk about my own situation and what he did, attempted to do to me, if you want to, on August 22nd.
Sure, that was when did he strike you from? No, he struck you from a bunch of different channels as well, too, right?
Yeah, he did. Now, back in 2019 in the summer, we would do live streams together. We did live streams in Detroit. We did live streams in Niagara Falls. We did live streams in Chicago and Toronto. We did live streams everywhere.
Yeah.
And one of them we did was in Milwaukee. I did a few live streams in Milwaukee. And one of them was called Milwaukee, the Good and the Hood. You know, I always like to go, you see the tourist stuff, but then I like to drive into the really scary places and cities and take people.
I think I have that right here. Wait, let me see. You showed me the copyright. Yeah. This is the one is this the one he struck, or?
Yeah, let me take a look at it.
Yeah, this is the one right here, Milwaukee, the Good and the Hood. Right?
Yeah, that's the one. That's the one. It was called The Good and the Hood, North Avenue. And for some reason, even though the stream was totally my stream in its entirety, the YouTube AI, the artificial intelligence, somehow let him know that perhaps this was your content on my channel. And I think he saw that as a gift from the gods all of a sudden, that it was a chance to, because he hated my guts at that time, that it was a chance for him to take me out, at least give me a copyright strike on the channel. So he struck that, he put in a claim. He struck that video, despite the fact the video was 100% mine, the live stream, and any talking with him was just him sitting in the passenger seat of the van when we were driving along. So I put in my counterclaim with, while I'm putting in my counterclaim to YouTube, all of a sudden I get a flash up thing that your channel has been terminated. And I'm like, oh God, what the hell is this, you know? And then about 5 minutes later, I get a reversal notice to disregard the prior thing, because whatever he did just so jammed up and screwed up their system at YouTube that it just caused all the gears to just grind to a halt right there. Okay.
Yeah.
So after I did this first counter claim, I was like, thank God, okay, the channel's still up, right? Now, after I did the counter claim on that one and submitted that, all of a sudden I get another claim dropped on the same video from Camper Van Elvis channel.
Yeah, that's
okay. In other words,
that's this one, right? Shit. This channel right here, right? Yeah, this one. How many channels does he have, man? Like, this is kind of...
That's the third one. That's the third one. That was the nonsensical, ridiculous channel. This was the one that the second strike came from. Okay. What he did was he copied that stream ID. He opened up his Camper Van Elvis channel. He went to the copyright thing on mine, and he filed a claim against my Milwaukee live stream video. Okay. And YouTube accepted that second claim. Okay. And until their system got all botched up. Now, if that wasn't bad enough, that other, you see that third channel, CJ, that has the gibberish letters on the bottom?
Yeah, like the nonsensical letters and all that.
That was indicative he was too lazy to make a channel.
This one right here. Yeah, the SQ.
Yeah, SQYWZ underscore. Like, he was too lazy to create a channel name, so he just used a bunch of letter there.
So he just made some bullshit channel to strike you.
Yeah, and this is the first time this is being shown tonight. I didn't have this on my video the other day because, you know, we would have been all there all day looking at it. But so now he's got 3 claims on the same video from 3 different channels.
Yeah.
Now at this point, I'm fighting the initial copyright. I've got to put a counter notification. Got to give all my information, which I didn't care about. Everybody knows all my where I live, name, and all that stuff. I didn't care.
Yeah.
Then he has 10 days to prove what. Then he has 10 days to show that he's taken court action to enforce the copyright.
Yeah.
Well, as I jokingly said, he must have taken a crayon and replied, you know, that I'm going to sue this person, and that's supposed to be legal proof that I'm taking legal action. Anyway, they reversed that first strike. Now, if you look at that other screen capture, it'll show that the video had been cleared.
This one, right? It says not affected, right? And
let me see that.
Were you monetized at this point?
Yeah, well, you know, one asked me on a Monday. I am Tuesday. I'm not Wednesday. I am. See this? It said copyright not affected on your ID doesn't affect your channel. This is not a strike. But then you see on the other side monetization, and I didn't. If you clicked on that, you can't click on it here. It would have said because of other claims on this video, and I was like, oh God, what the hell, you know?
Yeah.
And another issue. So I had to at this time I decided I figured out what this guy had done. And for the first time, CJ, in almost 8 years, I've never issued a copyright strike.
Yeah.
I've never issued a community guidelines strike on anybody. I'm very much live and let live and have a thick skin, enjoy YouTube.
You're very chill and not controversial at all. I mean, like
very chill. You know?
I don't know.
Very chill. I got. You can look at my copyright page today. I got people doing. I have some of my bikini videos in 2013.
BB 556
they got
$10 through Super
Sorry,
Chat.
I got a donation.
Rosie
Sorry.
for the onesie.
Rosie for the win. Thank you, BB. Thank you for $2. Appreciate you. But
people use that. They have almost 10,000 views on someone. I'm like, okay, you know, all right. I'm not going to be, you know, okay. It probably helps promote me in some kind of way, so I'll let it be.
So, can you get your monetization back, or like, what's going on with that?
He had my monetization all cocked up because if you have multiple copyright claims, then you have your monetization automatically gets wiped. Okay, you get a notice that hello, Rosie O'Kelly, due to blah 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 copyright, the monetization is disabled on this channel. get it squared away with copyright and reapply in 30 days. And I'm like, oh man, this thing is just like totally spinning out of control.
So he really tried to fuck you over hard.
He really tried to screw me over.
I don't get it. Like, what did you do that was so horrible that he tries doing all this fake shit to ruin you?
I was more successful on YouTube than he ever was. That was my sin. Okay. I hate to say that. Whatever little success on Boyd, the tiny little place that's Boyd with these stupid little channels that we have, and that somebody could be. Thank you, chiming in. Thank you, sweetie. That,
thank you very much for the $20 donation. Thank you so much. Damn.
She's an excellent lady.
Seriously nice.
You tell me. What do you think? You know,
I didn't see anything. You know, you've done so much.
I was the only mountain that he couldn't climb that looked steeper than what he is. I think on Boyd.
Did he think shitting on you was just gonna bring him all your viewers or something? Like, is that what he thought?
Well, I think you know, if you fire up a live stream and you roast Hosey or Herman She-Monster, as you call him, then you're going to pack a lot of people into the hangout.
But that's fucked up. That's I got to be real. That's fucked up.
That's what his whole channel was based on. There was nothing. Original content nobody wanted to see or watch, you know. But if you did those kind of things, then people would come in droves, and that's what fed his machine in there over the years. So you tell me. I don't have a degree in aberrant psychology.
What I saw is like all I saw. Look, from afar looking in, it looked like, you know, he was upset that your viewers did not like him, right? And, you know, like, and I think he started to really take it personal, you know, instead of just being happy that you guys are friends and whatever, and, you know, create together and shit. He just started to take it personal.
I would go on his streams and they would rip me anew when you had this king of all thugs in Chicago, a friend of his, just hated my guts and would tear me up continuously. There were a lot of people in his chat that hated my guts, but I never made a big issue about it, right? I would sit in there and, you know, so what? You know what I mean? It's like some people are going to like you and some people aren't going to like you, but I never got, you know, it's YouTube, CJ, right? It's not real world, right? It's just YouTube.
Like,
so,
you literally tried to destroy your channel, though. Like, three strikes on one video. That's crazy.
Well, that was something that really caught the attention of YouTube, and it took me nine Gmails to finally get this thing elevated to a level where I now have what's called an open communication pathway with YouTube that'll be there for until I close it down. Basically, with this whole situation. And finally, I got some guy, I showed the name of it. His name was Derek, and he took a lot of interest in this, in the situation. And then he came back on again a bit later also with the second channel of Rising. But when I reported the activities that he did on August 22nd, I firmly believe that led to his termination on September 7th, Labor Day, ironically. On Labor Day. And then when he resurfaced again, it was a pretty easy matter to slowly send them information. And then they like to be very thorough. They don't like to act in haste. And then they finally took out the second channel and said, if there's any other issue or anything, don't hesitate to contact us. So, but I do want to emphasize again, I've never struck anybody.
Yeah.
It took me a day to figure out that I even had an option to even talk to anybody in YouTube, because all you have is your like YouTube help page, right? If you need information.
It's extremely hard to get in touch with somebody, especially right now. Especially right now. Right now, you know, it's really hard.
Right now, it's miserable, and I never knew that. And all of a sudden, I find multiple options. You can have a chat with agent, or you can have a Gmail back and forth. I'm like, oh, okay, I'll just do.
And you don't have a network or anything like that, right? It's just you.
I used to be in a network, the Freedom Network. I used to be in years ago, but they didn't really do anything for me. So I dropped out of the network of that. But
I mean, when it's just you, it's tough. It's tough.
Yeah, it was tough, and there was nobody to go to bat for me because I hadn't done this stuff. I don't strike people. I don't report channels. I'm not, hey, if somebody wants to come back on YouTube, who cares, right? We got people that rise from the dead all the time, start new channels. It's funny, you know, ha, 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 laughing. But this is the first time somebody had really tried to destroy my channel. And I thought to myself, okay, this time I'm gonna take a swing back.
Yeah.
In a major way, because you know what he would do to me, if I begged for mercy or whatever, was hanging on the edge of a cliff or a building, he would step on my fingers. And
I mean, we already know he just tried to do it to you, so
yeah.
fuck him.
I mean, he would kick you in the head with the saying that I'm the dirtiest player in the game. You know what I'm saying? So when you know that,
yeah. Go ahead.
Now the weird thing, I also sent you a tweet.
Oh shit! I don't have that right now. But what did that say? I forgot that one.
That tweet said this on September 27th. He tweeted that he was going to go live and talk about the Hawaiian Heiferite, which was Colleen Aloha, who was a friend of mine in Hawaii. That he was going to do a stream and bash on.
That's right.
her.
And Colleen was the one who got the pictures of him in the shit bags, right?
Well, Colleen's also the one that seemed to have somebody that was eyes on the ground wherever Elbow went, that this guy was following around and showing pictures and doxing his location. And he came on to Street Life stream. There was an epic 9-hour stream. And those two went face to face. And then the guy came on that stream on panel. That was the guy that was submitting the pictures and tracking him, and all of a sudden Elbow turned 180 degrees. All of a sudden he wanted to make peace. All of a sudden he saw Jesus and he was sorry. I want this stuff to be all better now, and I apologize to Colleen. It was only because there was a guy that was a real physical and security threat to him that he turned.
Yeah.
But looking for evidence on the 27th, if you do see that thing, that he was ready to go live and do a Bashorama 2.5 days before he got terminated.
Wow. Wow.
The guy, there's not a genuine bone in his body. Everything is tried for view. He didn't care about. He wanted that thing over. Let's have a gentleman's agreement. Okay, you can say whatever you want about me, but please let's put an end to it. Okay, and Colleen, I won't talk about you anymore, but I need assurance this guy's not going to track me anymore. He would have signed over family to get out of that situation.
Like we've seen him be confronted before. Who confronted before? Was that? I'm sorry. Was it Dave the Fisherman? I can't remember.
Dave the Fisherman.
Right, confronted him, and all of a sudden he was a straight pussy and didn't want any problems.
That's what I'm saying. Quinn, when we were on the street walking in Santa Rosa, and Santa Rosa is a pretty tough town. And we had an encounter with Quinn because I told Quinn to get a job, when he was begging money. He's like a 24-year-old, 25-year-old, and I'm supposed to support his drinking for the night out there or whatever. So I said those 3 dirty words, get a job, and that triggered him off that night. And I'm looking for backup behind me, and there's Elvis running the other way, right? And Quinn respected me because I stood my ground, and then he took off after he took off after Elvis. Beat the hell out of me, but I'm not backing down. I don't care what you do. I'm not going to embarrass myself and lose my dignity. And I grew up in Baltimore in the bad areas. I fought every single. I didn't give a damn about that.
That says a lot about him, honestly. Like, I gotta ask you, like, just between, like, because I see a lot of stuff he says. Like, is this all just bullshit? Like, half the stuff he says, like, is this all just trolling? Does he just want to be the bad guy? Is that what all this bullshit is?
He told me before that. He told me there was a wrestler called John Cena.
Oh my God!
I think it was his name, WWE. Maybe you're side chatting. John Cena, and he said John Cena was a really bad guy in wrestling, and he tried to turn good, and he found out that his watchability, his likability, nobody cared about him when he turned good. So, as Elbow used to tell me, I'm not a saint. I can't be a choir boy on YouTube. I have to be as harsh and as negative as I am so that people are talking about me when I do something live, that everybody will be talking about it the next day on other streams and things like that. Same thing his nephew said when Narce said, when my uncle goes out to eat, he doesn't smack his lips and act like that when the camera's not running.
Yeah.
But he knows if he puts white goo or sauce all over his face and is the slob and dripping down, that everybody will be talking about it.
But the thing is, this is not wrestling, and that's fake. And if he's fake, and just the whole thing is ridiculous. Like, it's all bullshit. So, what does he think he is? Like, is he a real life wrestling heel? I don't get it.
I can't think of a negative channel that's ever really had success on YouTube by bashing on people and belittling people, women, and all dirty delete stuff. And a lot of people supplied me, links to prior dirty deletes because I don't record things. I'm not that kind of person to record things, but I submitted all that stuff to YouTube precisely because he tried to flatten my channel. So I thought, no holes barred. I'm going for the golden Monty here. I'm going for the checkmate. I'm letting them see it all here. All the bestiality, all the threats, all that. I just laid the whole damn thing. This guy's hair must have stood on end at YouTube. He reviewed all of this.
That's another thing. I like, as Elvis was supposed to come on here at some point. That was in the works at one point. He was supposed to come on here. This is back when I thought he was just quirky and weird and whatever. Like, he was supposed to come on and like whatever. He was gonna come on and like I asked him like just in private. I was just like, hey, what's up with the bestiality comment? You know what I mean? He's like, oh, I can't talk about that. I'm like, what do you mean? Like, I'm asking you. Like, I'm just asking if he was trolling or not, and he didn't want to talk about it. So I'm thinking he generally likes that.
The night he spit that out, the people on the panel, one of them went one way, almost falling over. The others went the other way. I mean, they can't believe. God, they were just shocked, stunned into momentary silence that somebody would talk about bestiality on I kind of like it, horses and.
That was my donation noise for a while. No joke. It was like, what about bestiality?
And it's like, Houston, we got a problem,
Yeah. He's like, he really, like, that's the thing. I can't tell if he's being real or if he's
and
just
I'm not bad. I've got my own stuff out there. Some of my adult. I mean, I'm not. Look, to each, I don't really care as long as I'm not involved in it and things like that.
But Rosie, dogs.
I'm no saint. You know what I'm saying? So, I am, I'm a very live and let live person. I'm not one to mind other people's shit and all that. So,
Yeah. I mean, it is what it is. I don't know. Part of me, like, I don't want to believe he's a deviant. I really don't want to believe that. But after that last stream, like, for me, I'm kind of like, I don't know what to say. Like,
I traveled with him a lot. I never saw him engage in any self-pleasuring on,
when he was in Tijuana, he never did anything fucked up.
Well, we were in Mexicali, and he went off to look for a trans hooker and stuff, or he met some woman on the street and kind of left me in the middle of Mexicali for a couple hours in a really rough area. I mean, nobody goes to Mexicali as a tourist. It's a really... Yeah. When that sun goes down, man, and there's only those 10-watt bulbs hanging in the street lamps, you're really in wild dogs running around and people just sleeping on the board sidewalks. And it's a very, very, very scary place. Like, I don't know if this guy's going to reemerge from the dark. I'm thinking to myself, what's my next play? Do I go down this alley and risk myself to go see what appears to be a whorehouse and knock on the door and Buenos noches, how you doing? And then knowing the border's going to close in about a half hour or whatever, and I'm going to be trapped in Mexicali for the night, not knowing what the hell I'm going to do. Huh. And worst of all, they're going to charge me 2 days parking fee on the on the U.S. side. That's the most painful thing.
That must have been crazy just going down there with him in general. What's up, Shane? How you doing?
Well, everything was always sexually oriented, and I'm not a sex tourist. I could care less about that. I never had any problem getting laid and things. I never worried about, if I want to make nice with a girl and meet a girl and have a good time, I make it happen, but I'm not going to go down there and every way. It was irritating to me that every time we went into Mexico or Reno when I was on an open mic and people were seeing me yell about because we got turned away from the Mustang Ranch outside of Reno and things, and I'm complaining and I'm screaming, just tell the trolls that just tell people that you went and saw and it was okay, and shit like that. They'll swallow it. It took the edge off. I didn't enjoy traveling like that. That's why when I met Dee and traveled with him, say what you will about him, You know, his stuff when he was 14 years old or whatever with a 12-year-old. But at the end of the day, he was a mature traveling person that had the right spirit of travel, and I had a very good time with him. You know, I didn't. You know, D had a high degree of confidence and was very easy with the ladies and things,
but he didn't Marshall, like. So Elvis kind of acted more of like a deviant out on the road.
Well, it's just if your little head is constantly just driving your motivation, food, and your little head's thinking for the big one all the time, it's just you know, it just gets depressing after a while. Huh. You know, it gets depressing, and you know, and I think he got a little upset because I didn't want to partake in that kind of stuff because it doesn't do anything for me to put money down to have sex with somebody in a
like he seems like the type of person that would pay for a donkey show down in Tijuana. Like that's what I was expecting you to say that. I'm not gonna lie, I really was. I was expecting that. I was. But
well, they cleaned up a lot of that stuff, and if you go down to the Avenida de Revolucion, which is the main street in Tijuana now, they have cleaned up a lot of it. Almost looked, you know, Starbucks and it's all been gentrified. There's cops everywhere. They cleaned up a lot of that imagery of
from Tijuana and stuff.
Tijuana, you know, because they were really hurt for many years when gunmen were opening fire on the streets and people were getting killed, and it kept all the tourists away, the Americans, and the government knew, hey, the lifeblood of Tijuana is people crossing the border, right? We better protect this franchise here.
I'm kind of surprised he would leave you out like that to go do like.
I'm not because his animal gratifications always came first.
Wow.
Okay, that was always the top priority. So, and that was a spooky night. Mexico was full of, and we went to 4 towns. We went to San Luis. We went to Mexicali. We went to Los Algodones. We went to Tijuana. And in all those towns except Tijuana, you have wild dogs. You have weird white vans that are riding around. And all I thought to myself is, okay, somebody, and even though I'm dressed down, somebody's going to throw me in the back of a white van because I'm a gringa, and they're going to drive me off into the night to southern Mexico or something. And I'm going to end up in the sex trade or something like that. Shit. Yeah, you would never leave somebody.
That's what I mean. Like, why would he leave you, especially if he's supposed to be your friend and everything like that, to go do some dumb shit like that? I gotta be honest. Like, you can get a prostitute anywhere. Why the fuck is this such a big deal to you? I don't get it.
Well, I never understood that anyway, because he would degrade American women. That American women suck and Mexican women are nice. I guess because of the feeling that they would be subservient because you wave a few dollars. Okay, I'll be subservient too for a few dollars. You know what I'm saying? Right. I'll do whatever the hell you want me.
Speaking of being subservient for money, fucking Shane with a $10 donation. Fun to get CJ to a traveling donkey show. Fuck yeah, thank you. I appreciate you. Thank you, Shane.
Yeah. The other thing that would disturb me, CJ, and this bothered me the most recently. He was on that panel with Streetlight the other night, that epic 9-hour stream, and somebody asked him straight up if he was gay, and he said no on that. And he always talks about people bashing on the LGBTQ community, and there's no greater bash than you not standing up for the community of which you are a member.
See, that's the thing. I noticed, like I was gonna ask you that too. I wasn't sure if I should, but like to me, he comes off as gay, right? But he doesn't seem like to want to. He doesn't seem to want to like be like, you know, stand up for it, and that's very strange to me. I don't understand.
It's not just strange. It's reprehensible that you are one of the people that causes so much trouble for the community, because you act one way and something else comes out of your mouth. It's like you disown the very community of which you are a member of that community. And that's the ultimate slap in the face. So to me, that's the headwater. That's the mother of all lies, right? So all other lies can spring from that lie. He always comes on and says, I don't lie. I would say that probably 50 to 75% of the stuff that comes out of his mouth was lies on YouTube.
I mean, like, because there's literally pictures of him with, like, with a dick in his mouth.
Yeah,
right?
with
It's floating
Tootsie
around.
Roll, he's gobbling a Tootsie Roll, and there's all kinds of pictures out there.
It's just like, why don't you, like, everybody knows you're doing it, and you're literally streaming it as well, so what's the problem? And it seems like he's got a problem with women, the MGTOW thing, like, a lot of this is off-putting. It really is. It's really off-putting.
Well, I think you get sour grapes about what you can't have. And he could never, I don't want to say score, I'll just use that for a convenient term. He could never score one of these ladies on YouTube, okay? And I think that rankles him, that he wouldn't have the finesse, the skill set, the charm, the ability to hold his tongue and not let slip that he only cared about him for sex or whatever. He couldn't keep the charade. So why even bother? Why even have the pretense? Why not be sour grapes and just bash them because you're never going to have them? Okay, right?
Yeah, I don't know. He's a very, very strange man. He really is. So I don't know what to say about him. I really don't. I don't know.
I'm a victim.
Hold on. BB, thank you very much for $2 donation.
BBE556 and donated $2 through Super Chat. What's your opinion on the boy in the van, Rosie?
Yeah, Rosie's already going over that, but if you want to touch on that again, they asked what's your thoughts on the boy in the van, Rosie? Again, if you want to just say everything we're talking about is alleged, by the way. It's not.
Yeah, I just want to say alleged because I'm a little well known, and I don't. This guy wakes up in the morning and thinks of suing people, and goes to sleep and thinks of suing people, and I don't want to go down that path. But I will tell you this, BBE, the optics of that pickup looked horrible. Couple things. I'm assuming you already know the guy on Facebook, okay?
Yeah.
In other words, you've already seen pictures of him. I'm sorry, CJ, you're not going to blindly meet somebody that says, I'm a Facebook friend. If they can't show you pictures or show you things, you're not going to meet them.
Exactly. You're not just going to meet up with somebody. Oh, chiming in. Thank you very much for the 20. He said, God bless my stalkers, Lindy and Just Lurking. Thank you very much for the 20. I appreciate you. Thank you. Oh, yeah, and the ID thing. We talked about that. The ID thing was very sketchy. Like,
deleting the stream.
Deleting the VOD. That was a bad move, too. Because, like,
that was a bad move. That was panic. But the optics of that were horrible of that, and I think he knew that was a colossal mistake. But like I told you, CJ, when he left here, and by September,
Chiming in has just donated $19.99 through Super Chat. God bless my stalkers, Lindy and Just Lurking.
It was not growing anymore. Somebody had bought him 1,000 subs. I still believe it was.
He bought his subs. Are you
sure? Fisherman or somebody. He went from like 8,400 to 9,400 in one day, or somebody bought him 1,000 subs or something like that.
Okay, so but that's nothing. Does he really think he's a fucking celebrity?
But that kind of thing, unless you immediately report it to YouTube, that can develop into a shadow ban, right?
Yeah. Stuff like that.
You can shoot yourself in the foot.
Well, so what do you think about?
That's why you don't buy subs, because it has no benefit to your channel whatsoever.
First of all, if you start buying that stuff, you got to keep it up. It's like one of these things. You start buying subs, you have to buy subs, then you have to buy likes, then you have to buy comments, then you have to buy views. It never ends. It's fucking pointless to do. It really is. If you buy one thing, it's like the most. It's pointless. It really is. It's pointless.
It's pointless, and I'm sure YouTube developed shadow banning, and he had that. He had reached the point where the daily views were in the toilet, and the subscribers weren't growing at all. That's when he pulled the magnetic signs out of the van and started putting them on the side of the rig. That's when he decided he had to step up his game of controversy.
Yeah.
And I think he thought if he picked up this kid, that people would be talking about it. And I say a kid in the sense he could be, I call people 30 kids to me.
Yeah.
But that people would be talking about that the next day. And
I've heard people look into it, and they said that they've looked into it and that he's 14. I don't know if that's true or not, because I haven't investigated it myself. Because look, as far as I'm aware, there's no open case for real. So I'm not trying to get invested on that level.
I don't know if it's real, because I think if that was I don't know, but I know that a guy appeared on Ted's channel pretending to be a bounty hunter. And if you're a bounty hunter, you don't come on with a jacket that says bounty hunter on it, okay? Yeah, you just this guy was the ultimate YouTube troll, pretending to be ex-law enforcement and in the know about everything that was going on. And the first day that he was on Ted's chat, he was talking about, well, it's confirmed. I checked in with the Illinois police and the local police down in Niles, Illinois. And it turns out that, yeah, the guy's 19 years old. Then the next day he comes on Ted's again. He's talking about, yeah, the kid's 14 or something. The guy, he couldn't keep his trolling straight when he came on with his fake bounty hunter outfit on and things like that.
I'm just kind of I'm kind of surprised though.
Thank you, Cal. Thank you, Callie Cat. Sorry,
no, it's all good. I'm just surprised that people haven't found him yet. I mean, he was his Facebook friend. I mean, it shouldn't be that hard to find him, honestly.
Well, let's put it this way. I wouldn't want to be found. If I see this controversy swirling and if you're that age, this stuff suddenly looks way over your head. It looks risky, and maybe your parents get involved, and then you can't have your Facebook fun anymore. So I can't know what the implication. The question is, why did he take off for Wisconsin? He left Illinois and went up with Mr. X to Wisconsin. I don't know why. What would be the reason? Generally, you go south in wintertime and fall and not go north. So you explain that to me, why he would suddenly, because he hated to burn gasoline and go anywhere. So why is he suddenly going to burn, $150 worth of fuel to go up to Manawak, Wisconsin? I have no idea.
It's a good question. Now, let's talk about the future of him. Do you think he's gonna try to pop back up on YouTube? Let's be real. Because we know we just had a troll just do it literally before we streamed.
Based on his second takedown and based on his knowledge that people would now have an easier route to flag. They now have 2 channels that have been terminated, and if they simply flag and put those prior 2 channel links on their if they drop a long form strike on the channel, then it's going to be very easy for YouTube to connect the dots on that. I don't ever feel like I have to have any involvement anymore in anything because it's cut and dried. So for that reason, I think he will try probably to explore an alternative platform, but nothing is like YouTube out there. Okay.
I don't think he'd really thrive anywhere else. I'm gonna be honest. I don't see this audience switching to another platform for him.
No,
he's not that big. He's not that big.
He might get an initial burst of interest, and also you can't assume that other platforms are more free and open than YouTube, because Twitch bans people for sneezing in the wrong direction on Twitch and stuff. So you can. You're going to have a very short lifespan. Mixer got shut down. I
mean, what's left? Tiny Chat, YouNow, and Facebook,
you
right?
have Daily Motion. He's had a Daily Motion for a while, but he's the kind of guy that forgets the passwords to it and can never get back on the, because he's had so many different Gmail. He's had so many different accounts and stuff that he can't remember which thing or which phone number he tied into which account for recovery and stuff. So,
yeah. Oh no! Another thing I want to ask you: does he really believe he's a celebrity? All joking aside, does he really believe he's a celebrity, or is that just some bullshit he says?
It's just WWE talk. And then if he would go into a store or we'd be at a restaurant, he would tell people, hey, I'm a YouTube celebrity, and thousands of people have been parodied all over the world, and people's eyes would just roll in their head like, okay, you look like a celebrity.
Did you see the swatting that happened? That's another thing, the swatting. Did you watch that, of him being swatted?
Well, he's had multiple. I don't so much consider the swatting as just people sending the cops over to check on a suspicious kind of guy. I mean, I went through a SWAT that I have people that are going to be sentenced in November to long jail terms in court in Virginia. But for his thing, he's kind of used to that. But he'll use that for drama and for people talking about it the next day and things.
Yeah,
so.
when the cops got there, he's like, hey, I'm a YouTube celebrity. I got 8,000 subs as he's on his channel that doesn't even have 1,000. Like, oh my god, like. I'm just thinking, I'm like, this is real life to him. The cops are really there, and this idiot is actually trying to say he's a celebrity on YouTube. Like, I was just amazed. Like,
I would just cringe sometimes when we would be places and he would pull out that rap and he'd be like, "Oh yeah, and she's on YouTube too."
Oh my god, that's crazy. That must have been a trip though, traveling with him. No,
I'm not one that goes out. I don't tell people my sub count or how many views I got, because it doesn't.
Real life, that shit nobody cares about. No, I'm gonna be honest. The only time anybody gives a fuck about that is when you're online. Anytime you're offline, nobody cares. Like real life, nobody gives a fuck about that shit.
Yeah, Artemis said, "Rosie, a stream with you would never be the same without someone burning rubber on your street." Exactly. I live in a very thug area here, so.
Oh man.
Well, he challenged people to come in and come on the street and meet him in that night in Chicago. So that was to develop controversy that people would talk about the next day. He knew that the cops would be called. Yeah. He met the cops. He talked to the cops, and they went on their way. But he knew that would cause a lot of people. Then he would go live afterward and have 300 people in the chat talking about what just happened and everything. So
yeah, I thought that was kind of staged. I thought maybe he knew that people would call the cops. You know, like if you think about it, you have like
everything he did was carefully contrived.
Wow. For
nothing was natural. It was all contrived for maximum viewership and to get people talking about it the next day. So.
Wow, I had an inclination that it was like that, but I don't know. He doesn't come off that intelligent, so I was thinking maybe there's a chance that he's just really stumbling across into this bullshit. You know, I don't know, but I guess
he found early on that if he went negative from the very earliest days and was controversial to women. I sat on RV panels with him in 2015. He would go after RV devs and other women on the panel and have fights with them, and his friend in Florida, the Godfather, would back him up and yeah, you're right about women. They just want to use you, and you can't live under the same roof with a woman. And you know, he sucked all this stuff down that poisoned his mind back then, and led to his idea of degrading women and that they don't count for anything in life. And therein was his downfall. You know, and that's what made a lot of enemies, disrespect of women.
That's really crazy that he really thinks like that. You know, like he doesn't have any, like, as far as I know, he doesn't have any women in his life. So where does this come from? Is it just come from not having them around? Like,
he's a conflicted person. He has to act one way on YouTube, and then he lives another entire life off of YouTube. Okay, so he partakes of the gay life off of YouTube, and then he has to switch his persona for YouTube and put on an act. Well, you can do it, but it's mentally debilitating to you because you're in self-denial at that point, and you're not positively reinforcing yourself about who you are. And over time, it accentuates and gets worse and worse, and you lose an idea of your self-worth or dignity over time, you know, because you can't be your true self anymore.
Caitlin in the chat said MGTOW is literally grown up incels. Yeah, that's kind of what it sounds like, honestly.
I think
that's kind of what it sounds like.
I think that's well put. You know, I just think, hey, if you want to deny women and you want to go around men grabbing their own wieners, hey man, do it. Okay, I'd rather have the companionship and the love and the joy, and put the time in and the devotion to win a woman's heart instead of treating her like a hors d'oeuvre or a meal to be eaten and then thrown away afterward, right?
Yeah.
It's not a good look. It's not a good look at all.
No. And
you're denying yourself. You're basically telling the world, I don't have the skill set to win over a woman, even though there's 3 billion plus women in the world. I don't have the skill set to win one of those women over to make her love me for me. So I just have to use her as a receptacle which he never does, by the way. Because he's right. I mean, it sounds good in theory, but
in practice, it doesn't seem to work out for him.
No, I think it's all about trans and cross dressers and guys. So
that's so strange. So like, because I always hear him say, he's like, yeah, I get this many women, this, that, and the women, but what I see him doing is not that. So why? It's just like, why is he trying to portray something that he doesn't live at all?
According to him, it's because the culture he would be given a royal boot by the Syrian community, but he already got the royal boot anyway.
But we already know that's what he does. Like, it's like people have already seen it, so it's not like this is some secret.
His family knows it. They all know it. And
so strange.
Maybe he'll find his true happiness when he dares to stand up and admit what he is. I don't know. Like I said, I'm not a psychologist, but we talked a lot over the years about things, and he's had a lot. I've known a lot of guys that he's had relationships with. A guy came to Las Vegas years ago, Mr. Y. Came and we met him, very nice guy. And then there was 401k Ray, the other guy. So, I mean, he has had male relationships in his life. So,
yeah. I mean, someone in the chat said good, like in this day and age. I mean, look, I know some people have an issue with coming out, and I get that, I do. But I find it strange that he does have it out there. Like, he puts it out there himself, but then acts like that's not how he's living. I don't get it. Like, you're portraying two totally different things. It's very, very strange.
Yeah, sad. I think, Shelby, you hit it, and that's why my heart always kind of went out a little bit of dealing with this confliction in life. And I always thought if I could encourage him to just, demonstrate the courage and, but I think at ultimate time, I think he told me once that he was caught with male porn or something at home, and his uncle threatened to put a hammer through his head, or it was a real bad scene or something, or smashed his computer up or something like that. Because I guess his family was always worried, so they were always creeping around looking at his computer and things like that to see what he was looking at. So, I mean, that's the ultimate negative thing, I guess, in that culture is that, I don't know.
Yeah. Well, like, that's that, like, I don't know. What I don't even know what to say about it. Like I was saying, like, it's just he portrays it publicly one way, both ways. So it's like, I'm like, but because it's both, he publicly does it. It's not like he hides it really, like, because if he hid it, people wouldn't know about it. I don't know.
Well, it insults the audience, when you tell people that I like women and all that, and people just their mouths just drop open. It's like, really, and I mean, I never remember chasing after female hookers in Mexico or around Chicago or place Detroit, right?
Yeah, I don't know. That must have been a real.
His family doesn't, Marie. His family doesn't support him now. Okay,
so they don't already support him, but he's still trying to.
Well, I mean, I don't. Even though he had his sister talk about me and talk shit on me, even though I met her in Chicago and bought her dinner and was nice to her, he turned her against me as part of his hate campaign.
Yeah.
I was nothing but nice to her, but I'm not gonna return that on his family, because I like his nephew. I like Narse. He's come here and visited before, and we have a very good relationship. And Narse is able to separate that off from his uncle, and he's a hardworking kid.
Yeah. From what I've seen, you haven't really gone in on him too much. I mean, they've definitely, I think everybody would have been okay with you doing that.
I can't sleep at night if I go in on people. I feel like shit if I really cut loose. I think I did that once on Jimmy Rants in 2015, and that's always up on YouTube. That it's called Rosie's Nuclear Meltdown, and I'm cursing and screaming and turning tomato red, and I look at myself and I just think never again. After that, never, ever, ever again. So I've steered clear of that. I'm not going to take the low road of family. I will say his I think he'd get a lot more respect if he was just true to himself and just came out and admitted it. But it becomes another talking point. So, you said, will he pop up again on YouTube and things? It's not for me to say. Like I say, I'm not going to get involved the next time. This was too draining for me. This whole episode was horrible on me too. I've had my monetization all screwed up on my channel.
It's going to definitely take you a little bit to get that fixed, for sure.
It was weird. Yesterday morning, when his channel was terminated at 7:37 in the morning or something, at the same exact time, my monetization was removed. Yeah. And I knew there was some weird cross connection in YouTube and AdSense between our two channels. Okay. Yeah. Now, luckily, I do have a good inroad with YouTube, and within 6 hours they had the monetization restored today. But for how long? Until the next time the next time it happens. So I will say this, CJ, and this is from the heart. This could be the best thing that ever happens to him for his future, because once and for all, he has to face the reality that social media is not going to be a reliable source of supporting yourself for the future. You're not going to be a big media star. And by finally, once and for all, knowing that you're not going to be able to reemerge on a site like YouTube, it's going to force him to go out there and physically get himself a job, which will give him a positive feedback of some coin in his pocket. He can still live in his van full time. And he'll be a contributing member of society, paying taxes, paying Social Security. This guy hasn't paid dime in taxes or anything.
So,
okay,
he really uses this to support everything? Like, this is what he uses to support himself? YouTube, that's it?
Yeah, this is it.
Wow.
This is it, and
he's not anywhere near close enough to do that. Like,
no, and I think no, even if you live the most simple life of all. So one day he may look back and say, this was the greatest thing that happened to me. It snapped me out of my ridiculous fantasy about social media. And I think, will it happen? I don't know, but I know he couldn't sustain in the way that he was going. Because what happens to the van when the transmission goes out? Now you're looking at a $2,000 repair.
Yeah.
And I don't care about Norm F or anybody else. They're not going to pony up the money for that repair. And basically, you're done. The game's over at that point anyway.
I think as soon as he breaks down or has a part breakdown that he can't fix, I think this is all over for him. Like, the traveling and all that.
It's over. I said, what are you going to do that day? He said, I'm just going to have it towed to an RV lot or a trailer park and just have it parked there forever and just live in it, and
wow. Okay.
What a life, so okay. Woo, right? I mean, at times I'd shake my head, but I would be caring and I would be concerned. And you got to think of a life plan. What kind of retirement are you going to have? You're living hand to mouth with. You like to eat well, and you spend a lot of money on food. And,
I think some people don't understand YouTube, and they think that just because you have 200 people or maybe even 400. Look, I think anybody that's under 1,000 viewers is a low tier streamer, and when you're under that, you don't really have enough to survive like that. It's not something that you can really be like, all right, fuck all my responsibilities because you're not big enough yet. You know what I mean? There's other streamers out there.
It's a dangerous thing, but we see people do that. We see people try to make a go of.
Yeah. I mean, you see Ice Poseidon out there. That's a pro streamer and stuff like that. That's somebody who does that, but he can because of the amount of people he brings in on a nightly basis.
He was the pioneer of IRL, so there's something to be first.
Yeah,
I was the first IRL streamer on Voight in that community, but Poseidon was doing it for 3 years before I started. So he was the first one to do that. So I would like to think that this could be the best thing that happens for you future.
Oh shit, Shane!
Keep up the good work, bro.
Goddamn! Thank you so much for the 50. I appreciate you. Goddamn! And look at that! Woo! Look at that! Fucking Edwin in a thong. Never seen a better sight. Thank you, Shane.
My space girl. Where's my space girl picture?
Oh, you want? I didn't put it up. I was almost gonna use it for the thumbnail, but I wasn't sure if you wanted to. Oh my God! Hold on. Let me see if I can pull it up. Hold on. Actually, no. If I do, I'm gonna lose you. Next time. Hey, listen, you can come on anytime. You're great, Rosie. You really are. Seriously,
thank you.
You are awesome to stream with.
Yeah, Lexi said those RV parks have long waiting lists, and that's a thing too. Too many people are in RVs now and travel trailers, and there's not enough RV parks and places to park them. And let me ask you this: if they talk about developing an RV park in your neighborhood, do you want it there?
No.
Do you want fun and games on a Friday and Saturday night when they're throwing beer cans at each other's?
Absolutely
RV? Not. Hell no, man. Nobody wants an RV park or a trailer park in there. Good luck, man.
Right.
So you have a lot of people fighting over the same amount of spaces, more and more people.
Yeah.
So to hell with that, you know.
I think he's going to be screwed. I really do. I think he's going to be screwed soon, and I don't know. I guess.
But you agree with me, CJ, that it could be in the long run. It could be a blessing.
Good for him. Yes. This is probably a good
thing.
Yeah.
Well, if you're going to be 40 years old. You're not a child anymore. You got health issues, weight issues, and you got a van that's probably not going to be serviceable for much longer. Yeah, thank you. MyTube says, Rosie, come back. CJ's had me on. I've been on the RealStream before.
For sure.
I had a good time. I want to do a stream with. I want to be in a streaming house.
I want to do it too. Like we were talking about it. With Holly, like she really has a big house for that too. It's perfect, you know. Like it's in New York, and like if you want to do it for sure, like, we've been talking about it. But this whole COVID thing, you know, like fuck, it's been crazy. I mean, I think it's starting to cool down, hopefully, and we could do it soon. You know,
it's getting worse out here. I think in this
is it
infection is. Yeah, the rate of infections is 24% increase. It's very high right now.
It's hard to keep track of because like there's so much COVID news everywhere. You know? Yeah, I'm burnt out on hearing about it on the news. Like every time you hear about it, it's just like, oh, again, like, you know, it's just, I don't know. It's hard to listen to. It really is. I don't know.
Yeah, somebody asked about Joni Portwood, and I don't know if that's the real Joni Portwood. That's one of the trans sisters that lives down in Kentucky. I guess that became friendly with.
They said, "Long live the king." Woo.
Yeah, so I can't speak about their relationship, and like I said, I've never said anything negative about Joni Portwood, and she's laughed about some things that he said about me, but she's generally been nice to me on my when she comes into my stream and things. So, like I said, I'd rather take the high road, and you'll just learn from your own experience on that. So
yeah, I mean, so looking back, would you say that you think that Elvis used you though?
Oh, of course, of course. He always wanted my skill set because he saw what I did to the Rancho in terms of totally regutting 3 buildings and rebuilding it, converting and pulling out a bathtub and making it into a below-grade roll-in shower, barrier-free shower, and all the conversion of the Shine Shack to an apartment. Yeah, he wanted those skills to be used on his van to give it a new lease on life because it came in as a rotten, stinking, germ-infested mess. Got your garbage bags everywhere and everything.
I don't even know what to say about him. So he had a bathroom in there, right? But he pulled it out. Would you guys pull it out? What happened there?
No, he had already pulled out the black tank before I get there because he didn't want to give up the space of that. And then these I had a camper van that was 1 year older than his, the same make, the Coachman camper van. It was white with red on it. I ended up pulling the bathtub out of that unit because they cracked so easy. The fiberglass got old and they were just useless. And I converted it into extra storage space in the back. But I did keep the toilet in mind. But he pulled the toilet out on his.
Yeah.
So he always saw that I was able to buy RVs and then eventually sell them for like 50% profits and stuff after I did a little work on them and moved them on.
That's so frustrating though. Like, so you think he was just kind of like just trying to get what he could from you as far as like even YouTube as well? You think he was trying to leech off you as YouTube like as well? Cause
yeah. I mean, think of this, CJ. If somebody's motto is "I'm the dirtiest player in the game," well, you better believe them. You better take them at face value on that. So I mean, that's kind of the way that I felt about it.
That's really shitty though. After like all like like because I know people even got mad at you for letting him stay there. Like,
oh yeah,
people were literally mad at you. I remember that clearly. Like
yeah, because I was branded as an enabler. Someone that was helping him to continue running a negative show on YouTube. And you know what? And this is why yesterday morning I apologized to a lot of people on my channel. I apologize to those people that said we told you so, and that you were an enabler, and you were a screw up, and we told you that this stuff would happen, and because of you, he was able to prolong his life on YouTube. So I really felt for my own self that I had to come out and own my shit and say, you know what, you guys were correct about that. Okay.
North Shore Towing Manager said he didn't need a toilet. He has his Walmart bags. Well, that's true. He does. He does have that. He doesn't even use a bucket though. Nothing like that. He just goes in the bags. Like as far as you know, like what is that?
I never saw him. Because we would go to when I traveled. We traveled for 50 days or something. Mexico, Canada, the U.S. We would always go to a Planet Fitness and get a shower. And I would use the toilet facilities there. And then I would have a mason jar just for emergency at night if I had to pee or something. But otherwise, he did shower every day, and he never smelled any time I ever knew him. He never had any odor to him or anything. So, he would take a daily shower and all that. So
see, I didn't understand it because he tells people like, oh, hey, I use Walmart bags and shit. But like, I'm thinking like, if you're on the road, why don't you just fucking use a gym or the like? There's bathrooms everywhere.
I think he does, unless it's like a, I don't know if he has a prolapsed anus or I don't know.
Wait, does he wear a diaper? Is that a real thing? Is that a real thing? Is that a real thing? That's not a real thing, is it?
My hand to God, I never saw a diaper. But other people say they saw it on the dashboard.
Okay. All right.
I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to make up stories.
All right.
I'm just telling you the truth from my point of view.
Because I saw you said prolapse. You said prolapse, and I was just like, wait a minute.
Considering the history, and it's a wonder he doesn't have any STDs or something. Any serious.
Okay. All right. I can see the diaper then. Maybe it's a possibility. Maybe, but there's no confirmation. So let's keep it at what we really know.
Well, that's what I always do. I'm not going to fabricate things for the story. There were some good points for him too. He did stand up for me at various points in his chat, but he did have some people that tore me to pieces in his within his chat streams, and he enjoyed that also when that would occur. So he gave as good as he got on some of those streams. But he did enjoy our travel time together, because he wouldn't have done the things that we did or seen the places that we saw in our adventures through Detroit and Milwaukee and Toronto and Niagara Falls and all through Mexico and things like that. So
yeah. Marie said it good. Why fabricate when the truth is so great? Yeah, that's there you go. I mean, he listened. Like, as far as we know, there's the bestiality, there's the allegations he's got. There's a lot going for him. You know what I mean? Him trying to fucking take down your channel. It's like that's pretty fucked up. I'm not gonna lie, because you did a lot for him. You did a lot for him, and for him to do that, it's gross. It really is.
Yeah, and you would get a few glimpses once in a while. Who told me this something that there was a girl named Banksy Girl, a woman named Banksy Girl, and she was on a panel with Streetlight the other night. She was relaying a phone conversation that they had a few months ago, where some of my adult, when I used to be a cam host, I used to do like adult cam stuff, and they found some of my own stuff, and tons of people have seen that. It resurfaces every year from 2015. But they were talking about that and how Elvis wanted to push that stuff so hard out into the community. And Banksy Girl was on the conversation, and I think Tasha was on the conversation. It was like a three-way conversation. And they asked him, why do you want to do this? Why do you want to do this thing? And he said, because I've I effing hate her MF guts.
Why?
You know,
Why?
that was real. Yeah, that was real. And they were immediately like, wow, this is way above our pay grade. You know, this guy is like seriously borderline psychotic.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And they said, sorry, we're going to jump off the line, and you're nuts. You know, I mean,
yeah. No.
It's like, damn, you know, and they were like horrified. And she thought so much of it that she sent me a Gmail, thanks girl, and she gave me the timestamp. But Rosie, you better go listen to me talking about it on the stream. I was like, wow, that's really spooky.
Yeah.
If somebody could be that hateful.
Yeah.
Woo!
That's crazy though. I just don't get it. I really don't. But shit.
That is really a scary thing. That'll make you really. That'll make you pop your wig. You know, when you think about that somebody could be that. Somebody could be that obsessed with you. So that's why I feel good. I don't feel bad about what I did.
You shouldn't. You shouldn't. I think you did the right thing.
I don't. But then again, it's something I've never had to do before. I've never struck anybody copyright. I've never struck anybody community guidelines because I'm live and let live. So this was something totally new to me. The fact that it took me a day to even figure out YouTube and how to do things is proof positive of that I never have to go there on the YouTube, because you and I, we don't care if somebody brings a channel back. Big deal. Somebody comes back again, and it's like, okay.
Like, I don't know. I'm just surprised he really went at you.
Suppose Augie came on his chat and just said, you know what, my life mission, I'm going to take that prick CJ down on his
there's people that have had issues with me, I've listened. I've
suppose,
gotten mad before.
Suppose he put it into action now, and you started to see this stuff piling up in your inbox. Like, now you got this strike to do. You got your first strike, and here comes a second strike. You're gonna be like, holy hell!
Yeah.
Am I even gonna survive this damn? How are you gonna feel when it's over, and if you're surviving the nuclear blast?
You're gonna be. That's the thing. I think you did what you had to do. I mean, he was coming at you anyways. You know what I mean? And so, I mean, you did what you had to do. I mean, and then there's some people out there who think it really wasn't like you or whatever. I think it was a culmination of everything. I think it was everything. You know,
I don't really care, but I know the second one was definitely and positively 100%.
Because you had a connection with speaking with them.
The first one, but YouTube did mention that this is something they've not seen. That somebody tried to launch 3 strikes from one video, which 2 of them they're not even connected to their channel, and just copy and paste the link to that live stream and then try to strike from other channels on that.
Yeah.
That takes a real conniving. Person. And even to develop that third weird channel with the letters and underscores to launch that from.
Shit.
So
that's crazy. Well, anyways, thanks for coming on, Rosie. You always great. You were great. Thank you. I appreciate you coming on.
My pleasure. I hope we're able to do a stream now sometime, and that would be great.
Yeah, let's talk. I'll talk with Holly, and we'll figure out when's a good time. I think I don't know if you know who DC Media Girl is, but I think she's interested in possibly going as well. So I don't know. We'll listen. I'll email you, and I'll talk with her, and we'll see. We'll figure something out. You know
I'm up for anything. A guy pulled into my driveway at 10 o'clock last night. I never met in my life, and we spent 2 hours on my Hangout.
Yeah, right.
Last night, he sniped me live and came to the door and came inside. So I'm up for pretty much anything. I'm a very sociable person.
Yeah.
So I want to thank you, CJ, for inviting me to come on RealStream RSN here. Yeah. I always have a good time with you, and you're a handsome guy and everything else. So
thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you. Rose, you have a good night, and we'll talk later. You have a good one.
All right. Thank you, everybody. Have a wonderful, wonderful night.
All right. Bye. All right. Well, that's Rosie. I'm sure a lot of you guys already know who Rosie is, but her channel's in the description. Like this up, guys. I appreciate all you guys being here. Thank you so much. You guys are the shit. Like up this stream and subscribe if you haven't already subscribed. I'm curious. I wonder what's gonna happen with Elvis here. I really wonder what's gonna happen. I don't know. Will he pop back up? Will he? I want to know what he thinks about all this. I wonder what he thinks. But like up this shit. Thank you guys for being here. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for watching. yeah, everybody have a good night, and I'll see you on the next stream or the next vid. All right, peace out, guys.